And welcome back to another week at Beyond the Trailer Park. And of course, we were off last week, so we're happy to be back. But I was, did you not hear anything, Beth?
No.
Oh, great. Lovely. Yay for technical issues. So anyway, for whatever reason, the intro didn't play, but we'll look at that in a minute. So yeah, we took last week off because I was off at the non-conference, and I was really bloody exhausted, and yeah. So, that's the way how it goes. So anyway, this evening I will introduce our guests before we get going because I do want to talk about the conference a little bit. But if they want to chime in, which is cool, but I don't want everybody to kind of go, who the hell are those people? So we are joined this week by the crew of Waiting for Wrath, the Waiting for Wrath podcast, which is coming out of some like backwoods state somewhere. I don't know. They can.
Yeah, we
Good
just got
evening.
running water.
Yeah. Good
I rode a
evening,
horse to work
folks.
this morning.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So there's some state called Wyoming somewhere I heard of. I don't know. I have actually heard of it, only because I've listened to you folks and Matthew the Apostle. So I do
It's
actually
Colorado.
know that. Colorado's hat. Very nice. Well, we're kind of your hat, so, Or as my friend likes to say, you're our hat. And you've gone mute again, guys. Yay! This is the most people we've ever had on one camera. So it's kind of impressive, actually. And yeah, you're still muted. So, but anyway, we'll get back to you guys in a minute. But yeah, so last weekend I had the great pleasure to go to the non-conference that, of course, I've been talking about for weeks and really excited about. So I was able to hang out with some cool folks like Lawrence Krauss and stuff, and Mr. Deity, who's really cool. We spent the Friday night hanging out with him for quite a while, a couple hours, excuse me. And he's a lot of fun, of course. If you've watched his videos at all, you would be familiar with the fact that he has a great sense of humor, so that was really cool. And of course, for me, the biggest sort of excitement of the weekend was getting to meet Ensaf Hader, Rafe Badawi's wife, and his kids, and just to kind of give her a big hug and say, wow, you're one hell of an inspiration. So that was amazing. I know. And we will, just so you know, we do finally have a translator, so we will work something out and get her back on the show. I probably, just so you know, I'm probably looking at doing something pre-recorded just because with the translation and everything involved with that, I think it's going to be a little easier for her and us to do it as a pre-recorded item. So I'm still working out on how that's going to work, but at least I'm really happy that we do indeed have a translator lined up, and more than one this time, so we should be good. Yay! So that was a lot of fun, and another thing too that I think is really important is I was able to meet and talk to yet another Bangladeshi writer, and this young fellow actually translated for 3 out of the 4 fellows who have been murdered. So he's right in the thick of things. He's actually been in Canada for a couple of years now, so he's a lot safer than some people are. And I'm talking to him, and looks like he's going to come on and do the show at some point in the near future too. So kind of excited about that. That's along with Rafe, the situation in Bangladesh is really important to me because, as you know, what we do every fucking day on Facebook and whatnot would get us killed pretty lickety-split over there. So that's really something important to me as well. So that was really amazing to get to talk to him for a while. And of course, our friends Ali and Alishba were there, and Deadshire played, which was pretty awesome. Those guys. And congratulations to Ali and Alishba, who have now been married. They had a ceremony earlier, but they had the big family shindig just this past weekend. So if anybody checks out Alishba's Facebook, she has some beautiful pictures from the wedding on there. So congratulations to Ali and Alishba. That was pretty awesome. You're two of my favorite ex-Muslims out there, so yay. And speaking of ex-Muslims, I got to meet Armin in person, so that was pretty awesome. And a lot of our other guests, like Stephanie and Christine, that we had on the show, got to meet them in person, so that was pretty awesome. They're all wonderful, wonderful people, and it was a truly exciting and inspiring weekend to be with so many passionate and smart people out there, and yeah, just wow. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I thought it was cool because you were posting pictures, so I was there vicariously.
I tried to do that as much as I could.
Yeah.
It interestingly, there was almost no cell signal at the venue, which is kind of irritating, but oddly enough, back in my ghost hunting days, we used to have our booth in the exact same venue when we had a booth in the local psychic fair. So I actually already had Wi-Fi set up on my phone for there because I used to hang out there a lot. So it's all good. All good. Yep. Absolutely. So it was a great time had by all. New friends, old friends, just lots and lots of fun. Christella, of course, was there. Eric was there. Oh, and if anybody has ever seen the video of Matt Dillahunty debating a secular pro-lifer, that young lady had a booth there. I didn't go and engage with her myself because I was kind of just too busy, but a couple of my local heathen friends went and tried to engage her, and yeah, I mean, it's an interesting take, but she doesn't have anything really new since the Dillahunty debate, and if you haven't seen it, I do recommend watching it simply because I was able to refine my approach on that particular debate to something that I'm actually even more confident with, so that was beneficial. And just seeing that there are secularists out there who actually, like this young lady actually believes that abortion should be legislated away for the most part. So
I don't understand that.
I don't. Her basic gist is that it's a human life, therefore it should be protected at all costs, which of course I don't agree with, but
yeah,
that's a whole other show. That's a whole other show. But it was interesting that she was actually there. I didn't realize she was Canadian, so it was kind of intriguing. And another booth that I was there that I thought was really important was a gentleman promoting a secular version of the 12-step program in AA, because that's another one of my beefs, is that AA and all of that shit is all religious crap, and it's not going to work for anyone who is secular and has an addiction problem. It's just because the first thing they say is you have to surrender to a higher power and admit you have no control. Like, bullshit. That's like the last thing you want to do.
The problem with AA is that in NA is that they both have a 97% fail rate.
Exactly. And yet there's still people are still being told by court order that they have to go through that shit. It's ridiculous.
And that's crazy. I mean, I don't know where the success rate stands for the secular version, but I'm sorry, when you throw away personal responsibility,
yep,
you're not going to succeed.
Exactly.
So I would hope they have a higher rate.
Exactly. And by the way, Wrath folks, feel free to chime in anytime. This is, no worries.
Oh,
but,
we were worried about unmuting our equipment. We didn't know how long the intro went.
We don't have a formal intro. We just do our thing. So know.
We're very unscripted.
I like to say we're organic.
I have an art degree. We can do that.
This beer is organic.
Yes, indeed.
Well, yeah, I guess it is. Well, everything's organic if you go back far enough.
This is true. One small point I wanted to get before we dive into everything is Miss Ashley sends her regrets, but she had dental surgery this morning, and she's probably in a very happy place with pharmaceuticals right now. So,
wait a minute. It's like a great reason to be on the internet.
Our last show, I had just had dental surgery and was on all those same drugs.
He just had a root canal.
Yeah. That's why episode 43 is going to sound like he has a cock in his mouth the whole night.
All right.
Also,
because he did, but
right.
he also had root canal.
Mostly it was the root canal.
Well, I should.
Removed, so it's more comfortable.
He's a nibbler.
I give a mean gum job.
I should give you guys an introduction at least. So, as we said, there's this little weird state called Wyoming where these guys hang out, and we have, and if you could wave your hand when I introduce you, we have Steve over on, I guess it's my left, so it's probably the right on the screen, and then we have Shay over there, hello, and of course Jen, hopefully is obvious, and Aaron.
Hello.
Actually, strangely enough, her given name was Steve. But we had to change it for the show.
We want to be a little more representative.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely. And to me, the cool thing is the Canuck quotient is actually higher than you might think, because Aaron is actually grew up 20 minutes from my hometown. So.
Oh yeah, you betcha.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. We sort of met on a hangout unexpectedly a few weeks ago, and Zacrilege there, and Zach is like, oh, Aaron's from Canada too, and I'm like, oh, where? And he's like, oh, you won't know, it's some town called Stratford. I'm like, dude, I'm from fucking Mitchell, okay? They're practically, he's like the cooler half, because they at least have the theater, and they have the theater. No, they're like the premier Shakespearean theater in North America, so.
Yeah, he brags about it, and then he talks about how Bieber lives across the street. I don't really know what to believe.
Well, Bieber's parents.
I got you licked because my stepsister is very good friends with Mama Bieber. So there you go. They went to school together. She talks to her fairly regularly, so I got you beat. And I actually saw the Biebs. I used to work in an office building here in Kitchener that had a radio station in the main floor, and I used to train customer service, and I was trying to conduct a class in the other side of the main floor, and I hear this, Wah! I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Fuck was that?
I know, and somebody in my class is like, oh, Justin Bieber's here. I'm like, what the fuck is a Justin Bieber? And somebody had to Google it. This is when he was I don't know, 16. So when he yeah.
Yeah, right.
It was just on YouTube then.
Did you say Justin Bieber or Justice Beaver, who saves the Canadian outback from the ice packs?
Either one.
Justice Beaver.
Justice Bieber, but there was a public restroom on that same floor, and I had gone out on break in that direction, and I saw him in the hallway with one of his little friends, and I'm like, that's Justin Bieber? He's 10 years old. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a very masculine looking woman.
Yes.
Not really.
That is true.
So I have passed the Bieber in the hallway and kind of went, what the fuck is that? But you know, I'm old school goth. I'm like, what is this pop shit you speak of?
I'm vaguely aware of the fact that he makes music.
Yeah.
I have teenagers. I've actually heard it.
Oh.
I have nothing at all linking me to Justin Bieber, and I'm happy to keep it that way.
Actually, my best friend took his 14-year-old daughter
You
to
and
see
me
Justin
both.
Bieber.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm just saying, Santana still does concerts. There are other options.
I would much prefer to say, you know, Stratford has the Shakespearean Theater and not the Biebs.
You know,
the
Stratford homepage, the festival theater's icon has been replaced by Bieber.
No.
Yeah, they supplanted the Bard with that content.
Oh.
Ew.
Ah.
Known for something famous.
Next time I drive.
Baby, oh.
Oh.
Is
The
that a
next time
lyric?
Yes, it is.
It is. It is. The only reason I know that is because I recently started watching top 10 list channels on YouTube when I had a few minutes, and there's been a few like top 10 reasons everyone hates Justin Bieber. I'm like, oh, I'll watch that. or top 10 dumbest song lyrics. He showed up on a couple of those lists as well. So that is why I know that is an actual lyric, and I kind of went, wow, okay then. Milli Vanilli was cooler than that.
Fucking kids these days with their hip and their hop and their rock and their roll.
It's satanic.
It's satanic, yes.
It's satanic, yeah, there we go.
We're going to tell you guys all about where Satan's cropping up later, because Beth did a cool... Well, Beth and I, we were tangling with some nut jobs on World Nut Daily last week, but...
I often get tangled in my nuts as well.
That's a good problem to have, though, you know. Depends on, you know.
I don't know. I would think it would be a handicap.
It depends. It
Well, I
depends.
tie him in a knot, I tie him in a bow, and I throw him over my shoulder like
Shoulder.
a
A little soldier. Very nice, very nice. Just don't trip over them, because, you know, that'd be hard to explain while you're at the ER getting your nose set, because you tripped
I
over your
just call
balls.
you Droopy Dick from now on.
No, it's just my balls. My penis is very small.
I actually,
He doesn't have insurance
I
either.
was cruising YouTube for something to watch, and I came upon a Howard Stern smallest penis contest, and they yeah, that was, I'm like, it was like a train
like a-
wreck, you know?
Sad competition? Why is that
Is
even
that
a
why
thing?
you had us on?
Well, Jen wins then.
Yeah, even with Jen in the room, I'm gonna win that competition.
I have a very sturdy clitoris, so
Excellent.
I don't want to sit next to you anymore. And you're
Are you-
sturdy.
Is it intimidating for you?
it's too far.
I'll
That's
switch
too
places with you.
far.
Don't switch. Then I have to smell him. Don't do that.
So you guys have a show. You guys have a show of your
Yeah.
own.
We like to think so.
This is the gold that you miss out because of the editing process. So, yeah.
Of course. And I love how you brought your mascot Jeebus there in the room.
Hi, hi,
Awesome.
You used to hold money
Hi,
for it.
Jeebus.
You spent it.
We spent it.
Well, you know, you could put, I don't know, other stuff in there. I don't know what.
My wife knows me well. This was in my stocking this year.
Excellent. Very nice. Speaking of wives, Shay's about to get married soon, isn't he?
This
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the drugs don't wear off.
And
Yeah.
Well,
She is-
congratulations.
She has 5 more days of freedom.
yeah, we have her locked up in the back bedroom right now. Won't take
She's
off.
been chewing at the bonds
Awesome.
really heavily.
About 5 years ago, we told her that North Korea attacked and it's radioactive outside. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, see, that's the trick.
We're having an underground dungeon wedding.
Jesus.
Excellent.
That's our theme.
Oh, so you'll need a big cross for that bondage cross.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, actually,
okay.
her name is Emma, and I like to. The theme this year is S and Emma.
That's Emma. Oh, okay. See, I thought you were
How long
gonna
have you been
go.
waiting for that pun?
Long time.
I
I came up with it 5 years ago when we started dating. I'm like, this could work if we ever got married.
I thought maybe you were gonna go for the Joseph Smith angle and bring a flaming sword, you know.
Or another 8 women.
Well, I always carry a flaming sword.
She has
Well,
a
you
hard
know,
enough tying up one.
Well, you know, Mrs. Smith was indeed Emma, so there you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
that's
true.
right.
Oh.
Yeah, you're blind king.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm thinking Joseph and a flaming sword.
If you set your blind can on fire, I'm taking pictures.
Thou shalt not pass, Balrog! I probably shouldn't call Emma Balrog.
No, that seems antithetical to your happiness.
This is why we edit every show judiciously, because it gets out of hand in a hurry.
This goes downhill quickly.
That's okay. That's okay. We got 2 hours to work through. It's all good.
So when we're done making fun of Shay's micro penis, we'll have about 5 minutes to get a plug in.
Oh, that's okay. So
Waiting for that. Tune in to hear Shay's micro penis.
Yes.
you mic that on its own, right?
Oh yeah, I shove it right up.
Is that a microphone in your pants, or are you just happy to see us?
The super microphone.
You know what? We should just get Shay one of my water bottles, right?
There you go.
I already have one. I stick it down there so I look like a normal man.
No, he's sitting on it right now.
Yeah, turns out even those get whiskey dick if you fill them up with straight grain alcohol.
And apparently they burn if you're on the other end.
Yeah, hot roll use only.
A whiskey
man.
enema was a terrible decision.
Oh.
I heard now.
But it wasn't
I
worth the
heard years ago. This is a few years ago now, but there was a problem somewhere with teenagers soaking tampons in alcohol
Yeah.
and
That happened
using
like
those.
twice, and then everybody who could have possibly reported on it did, and it was the vodka tampon challenge by the time Fox News got a hold of it. Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
And that face you're making is exactly the face that everybody who's tried it, I'm sure, made.
This feels like burning.
I did not try it. That face was not from experience.
Nothing says fun like labial panic burn.
I will have a drink. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
okay with that.
I'll tap a vein.
Yeah.
Shit, right? There's a lot of
Apparently it was a way to not get caught, like, because your breath doesn't smell. But I didn't think vodka had a smell anyway. But whatever.
Well,
Supposed
good
to
vodka
not really,
doesn't.
but
No, tuna vodka? That's not cool.
Tuna vodka? Oh! Ew, I just called that. That's gross.
For those of you at home, that wasn't delayed. He's just slow.
it's the vodka and the sea.
Oh, God.
Oh!
I don't want to sit next to you anymore. Again.
Remember that time you had a successful show?
It's all right. It's all right. You know.
Episode when everybody quit watching.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than the episode that no one showed up for. That's happened twice now. So Murphy
We've got
loves
about
us.
43 of those.
Soon to be more.
No, I meant like the guests didn't show up. Yeah.
Oh, we did make it.
We usually just have a problem with the host showing up. Yeah, I mean, we're all physically here, but
I'm normally passed out somewhere in this room.
that's true.
You just have to rouse me.
That's an impressive amount of soundproofing in there, I have to say. That's pretty awesome.
It's for Emma. When we're done, she stays in here. No one can hear her screaming.
Oh,
So-
perfect. Perfect. Yay.
In Wrathful Studios, no one can hear you scream.
Jesus won't save you now.
Yeah.
You need a nice logo with that, like a little dungeon room or something,
Dun, dun, dun.
We're in it.
Wait.
It is kind of. This is a hodgepodge studio. It works
This
pretty
is
well.
literally a small room in a basement, so it's about as dungeon as one can get.
It is hot down here, like not metaphorically. It's like 98 fucking degrees in here.
Yeah. It'll be 110 by the end of the show.
It's
Is it
close to
supposed
32
to be,
folks in,
Isn't it supposed to be cooler in a basement, I thought, usually?
Not when you put these
well, you got
assholes in here.
You put 4 people in a room that's like 8 by 10 and it
Yeah.
warms up quick.
Well,
3 computers and a shade that ate burrito later.
How is it like? Is it warmer in Wyoming? My geography sucks, so I'm like,
No,
where?
God, no.
Well,
Okay.
today we were in the high 80s.
No, we
No,
were in
we
the
were in
low
the high
80s.
60s.
High 60s.
I was outside all day.
Every year in the February-ish time frame, our little villa is in the roughly -30 to -50 range for about 3 solid weeks.
It's pretty commonly we hit the coldest spot in the U.S. once a year.
We lose a professor or two every year to frostbite.
So Aaron will be right at home. That's good. That's good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm comfy.
Plus we're at 7,200 feet. I don't know how many goddamn meters that is, but it's high.
The nice thing about the nice thing about Stratford is it's in what we call the snow belt of Ontario, of southern Ontario anyway. It is. But now is Wyoming like up at the border, or is it a little lower?
It's pretty much right above Colorado.
It's Montana's at Canada, and then there's Wyoming, and then there's Colorado.
Oh,
We're
okay.
Colorado's hat.
So we're not.
The
We
middle.
might actually be more north than you, because I know, like, where I am right now, I'm more south than all of Washington State, which really freaks out Americans. Like, no, you're more north than I am.
Well, the difference here is that we're at 7,200 feet. So
Which
in
is
addition
now,
to
I
not
just
having
found
air-
2,200 meters.
2,200 meters? There, yeah. So for those of you that don't count in feet and bushels and turtles and whatever the fuck Americans use for measurement systems.
Bushels and pecks, bitch.
Yeah, what you're going to need to do is go down that road about 8 elephants and then turn left.
Yes.
So yes, it's a cold climate here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it though, because in the summer there's only so much you can take off before you get arrested.
It
But in
was
the winter you
hot.
can always put on another sweater.
It was hot as balls today. I got a
Yeah.
sunburn.
Those were just your balls.
I get a
yeah.
sunburn. I get a sunburn like going to take the recycling out. So, you know.
Maybe it's a Canadian thing, because Aaron's pretty
Aaron does
prone
too.
too.
Yeah, I think
It's a
Canada
ginger-
just goes
it's a-
pale people.
It's a ginger thing more so, I think.
There's a giant ball of radioactive fire in the sky. It's not my fault that it hates me.
Okay, now I have a quick question because you're Canadian, and I don't have any
Yes.
other Canadian friends.
I'm working that into the speech to your wedding.
All right, yeah, but still, you're my best friend. Do you find maple syrup spicy?
I'm the wrong one to ask, because I don't really eat maple syrup. I like my pancakes and French toast plain. So
It's a
I'm
joke
weird.
at Aaron because ketchup's just a little too much heat for
Look,
him.
food shouldn't hurt. Why is this complicated?
okay,
He blames it on being Canadian.
I'm pretty good with the bland myself, but my husband, on the other hand, he has 4 different varieties of Tabasco that sits at his table, and Tabasco. Yes, there's actually there's 5 that he knows of, but the 5th one is mild, so he doesn't buy it. So.
This is what I'm getting you as a gift for doing my wedding. A bunch of Tabasco.
We can't do that.
Me, I'm a firm believer in sriracha.
No, Jesus.
I like spicy.
We have a buddy that gave us a beer on the show. He gave us a bottle of Ghostface Killa, which is brewed with ghost peppers.
5 different kinds of peppers.
Yeah, it basically literally gave me chemical burns.
We watched Aaron's, like, he was wearing a gray shirt, and we watched the sweat just bleed.
Yeah, no, that was a medical emergency, and you assholes just laughed at
No,
me.
his forehead popped like he was sitting in the oven. It was so hilarious.
If he had a
you know,
turkey thermometer up his ass, it would have blown.
That's not a food product. It's a tear.
It's admirable that he tried it, though, because, I mean, okay, don't leave the show, but I don't like beer, so I'm excited.
That's it, cut it off. I'm done.
Yeah.
Now that these idiots have left, we can actually have a story.
Yeah, there we go.
Jen was the only one that didn't move.
Let me rephrase. Let me say that again. I don't like beer, so
She's changed in the seat.
I
Trying to keep a woman on the show.
I
could brew you a
expect
maple leaf
at
mead.
some point I'm going to be deported from Canada, because I hate winter, I hate hockey, I hate beer, and I don't drink Tim Hortons coffee either. So
I'm sure you live where you think you live.
You have lost your Bob
I
and
do.
Doug McKenzie cred.
Like, how many I got. How many items that are flannel do you own? Or plaid?
Plaid. I have a kilt.
Does that count as Canadian?
Okay. Yeah.
No, it counts as Scottish.
You walk down to the corner store. Is all the writing in English and French? Because I feel like it might be in like Argentinian.
No,
You are
it's in
actually in
English.
Canada.
Language.
Yeah, you're
It's
not
in
actually
English.
in Canada. Your globe is just upside down.
Spanish.
Although on my way downtown, I do pass 3 different Asian markets that are in like Vietnamese and Chinese. So there's that, and this is Kitchener, so there's a large German contingent. We have the Oktoberfest and all of that, and we even had a Transylvania club in town, which is kind of cool.
What are you doing at Transylvania Club?
It's just a goth club.
Right.
Just sit around and pretend you're a vampire?
Well, you know what, and it's kind of cool because I actually
It's like
worked
that club in True Blood.
I actually worked in Transylvania for a month, and I've been to the birthplace of Vlad the Impaler.
So maybe you're not getting a sunburn, maybe just method acting.
It could be. That's entirely possible. Entirely
Deb,
possible.
you want to hear a 6th degree of separation?
Oh, please.
Relative of Vlad Dracula lives here in Emporium.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Do you guys remember the movie Philadelphia?
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah, with Tom Hanks.
Yes, one of the actors in that movie goes by the stage name of David Drake. And he has actually researched it. For a while, he was kind of iffy with his family. And I think his dad recently passed, I think in the last 5 years. But yeah, they are actually related to the Dracula line.
Very cool.
Wow.
And it's funny because when I was going over there, a friend of mine was like, 'cause I'm a history nerd, so I kind of knew this anyway, but he's like, over there, Vlad the Impaler is like a national hero, and you better not talk about all this vampire shit because they'll be offended and stuff. And I'm like, I get over there, and there's a town called Bran, B-R-A-N, like bran flakes. And they have a beautifully preserved castle there called Bran Castle. And it's said that they call it Dracula's castle. He never actually lived there. He kind of stayed there for a little while, but that's it. But everywhere you go is like Dracula this and Dracula that. And they even had like a big barrel that said Dracula beer on it. Like, it was fucking everywhere.
It was
And
Blood.
it had like blood dripping letters font on the barrel, like Dracula beer. So I mean, it was fucking everywhere, and I just laughed, but it was a lot of fun. And of course, the thing I brought back as a souvenir from the birthplace of Vlad the Impaler, an actual vampire bat in a lucite block.
In a what?
Like in a lucite block where they, how they.
Yeah, I heard loose sidewalk.
Yes. I picked it up.
She killed it, thought she'd bring it home.
Like, how did you lug a sidewalk through customs?
Yeah.
Jackhammer. Like Aaron always says,
It's like
anything's
a
a
little-
dildo if you
It's
try
like a
hard
little
enough.
piece of the Berlin Wall.
Those fuckers are going to charge me an extra $20 to bring something on the plane. I'm going to bring the heaviest fucking thing I can find.
Well, funny you should say that. I was there for a month, and of course the shopping was awesome. And I had packed an extra bag, like a duffel bag, because I knew I would buy some shit and bring it back. So it was supposed to be $70 for an extra bag, right? This is in 2012. So I get to the airport, and I have to go through Switzerland first. So I go to the KLM. And I bring my bags up, and they give me the thing, and because I'm expecting to have to pay for the second bag, right? So they send me, they go, oh, go over to the cashier. So I take the cashier this slip of paper. Turns out that I bought so much shit in my normal suitcase that I had to pay $350 to get my suitcase home.
Oh my gosh.
Might have been cheaper to ship it FedEx.
Yeah.
Probably, but I was already at the airport, getting ready for my flight to go home. So yeah, I was like, I was like, wow, you fuckers are lucky I just got paid today, you crooks. So, yeah. $350 to get my suitcase home.
Wow.
Good. I have
And
the
he-
incredible ability to be so annoying that they will let me slide on crap like that just to get rid of me.
I did that on the way over because I got to the I had a layover in Zurich, Switzerland, so I switched from Air Canada to Swissair, and I get to the gate at Swissair, and they're like, "Oh, your carry-on doesn't fit in the thing. You have to check it," and I'm like, I have my company's computer, my computer, every scrap of electronic. No fucking way am I parting myself from this bag.
You carry
And-
2 computers on the plane?
Yeah.
Ouch.
When one battery runs out, you put the other one in.
Well, no.
That's
Well,
2 batteries,
one
not 2 computers, dude.
was the company computer, and one was my own netbook because I didn't. You don't surf on the company computer. That's just asking for trouble. So yeah.
Especially surfing anything fun.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So
Yeah, don't
I'm
be
like,
that person that I have to call and go, so, about video piracy. What exactly is Stoya Powerfuck, and are you sure you deleted it?
exactly. So
If you have an
they
extra copy.
they kind of grumbled a bit, and I was like, I am not leaving this bag, and there was not enough stuff. Like, there's too much stuff for me to carry it, because that's happened to me since then, but I've only had one computer, so I'll be like, okay, I'll carry the fucking laptop, you know. But I was like, no way. So they kind of went, well, next time, blah, blah. I'm like, there won't be a fucking next time, so nah. So yeah, I can be a pain in the ass, but the $350 was just like, I couldn't even lift the thing. I should have known better because I couldn't even lift it.
That should be your first hint that maybe it's a little overweight.
Just a little, but yeah.
If you're hiring a small man to carry it for you.
You unzip it about halfway, just enough to get your torso into it, then you poke 2 armholes and call it a supportive, like, wardrobe choice.
It's a trench coat.
Yeah, see?
It's a back brace.
There we go. And even worse, I didn't lose anything, but the suitcase was actually destroyed. Like when I got home, the structure of the suitcase was completely destroyed.
So they give you your money back, though, right?
It's possible that it was redundant.
Like, airlines do that, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's funny. Yeah, no.
He actually
So that
drives to Stratford because
No, I can't fucking aim, man.
Yeah.
it only takes 3 days.
I was gonna say, how long does it take to get from Wyoming to fucking Stratford? Like,
About 3 days.
about 3 days.
If you're taking a lot of breaks.
Well, I mean, occasionally I have a need to, like, sleep and
It could be
talk to a man about a
It
horse.
could
And,
be a hard 2-day drive.
A bottle of
You don't want
Adderall.
it.
We can do it in a night.
well, yeah.
So, yeah, well, I'm surprised they don't still use horses in Stratford.
They do here in Wyoming.
Yeah, we get some in the streets here.
Actually,
Well,
we do.
Yeah.
In Romania, they everybody's still driving around in horses and wagons, and they have like random village livestock. So you'll drive through a village, and there'll just be a cow wandering around the streets, or like 5 or 6 sheep kind of hanging around.
Is that a holy cow? Or perhaps an
No,
unblemished
that's
red cow?
India. That's India. That's India.
If you find one that's otherwise unblemished, I know some Jews you can sell it to.
All right.
Yeah.
It's prophetical.
It has to be
Yeah.
red, though.
They don't
Yeah.
and it's supposed to have never done any work. So if you ever see that thing like walking uphill,
So if you see a
Jew God doesn't want anything to
lazy,
do with
a
that.
lazy, red, unblemished cow,
Yeah. Sell that to Israel. They need that shit to make a temple in a place they can't go to.
which would be
For
really
fucking
great.
reasons.
That would be great because I want it to happen. That way, when nothing happens as a result, we can go,
Because their Messiah will come at that point, and
Right.
then for the fundamentalists, Jesus is coming back. So it's win-win for everybody, I
That's
think.
right. Steve
Absolutely.
doesn't kill him again. That's a problem.
He's supposed to take them.
Oh, come on! You guys know when he comes back that all your right-wing nut jobs are just going to throw him in jail and deport him anyway.
Yeah.
I just want to raid all the raptured houses.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
the point
he
is
was
some good shit.
he's taking them all away. That's the point.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
screwed up.
Hippie wanderer that wants to give free health care to everybody and undo the lenders and the betters. Yeah, the GOP will not handle that.
No,
well.
they'll
No,
pop
they'll-
What
out
if they
their ass.
take us and leave them?
I'm cool with that too.
Where are we gonna go?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
Jesus wasn't a god. He was just an alien. He's going to take us back to Pandora, and we'll all have air sex with flying monsters.
Woohoo!
That'd be great. The best
Oh,
thing ever.
maybe.
It
Yeah,
would
but
be.
Well, that's what Rael thinks.
it could be Kolob. It could be Kolob and Elohim and Spirit Babies, though.
Oh
I suppose
God.
anything's possible.
That
I
would.
don't
No,
like
not
babies.
really.
Yeah, no, the Spirit Baby thing's kind of suckage. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with this one. That sounds
This is-
very
this is-
zombie-esque.
No, this is Mormons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, the ones that when you have a baby, it's because Jesus has a soul that he's evicting. From
Yes. Well, okay. So the
your
goal,
uterus, because uteri are
goal of
slums
the-
apparently.
the goal of the Mormon man is to be so righteous that he becomes his own god and gets his own planet and his own bevy of wives. And if you're a woman, your highest pinnacle of achievement is to become a wife of one of these gods, and you get to pop out spirit babies for all eternity to populate your little planet.
Yeah, I just saw Book of Mormon, and this was sung about in at least 3
Yep.
songs.
Well, it must be right.
And people of color are there to be your slaves
Oh.
That's
So-
right, because they were mean and nasty in the pre-existence
and cursed.
and cursed. God made them dark because they're bad.
So what you're saying
Dad,
is,
what about me?
I think
And
you
the rest of my community.
I think you get to be, if you're good enough to actually make it past outer darkness, you get to be servants to the really holy people.
Oh, fuck that shit. I don't serve nobody unless I'm working.
this sounds lovely. I get my own planet full of people that do my chores and bring me sandwiches.
Oh no, you're not on the right level to get your own planet.
Oh.
They're very special.
Do I
Holy
have to
men.
Tom Cruise it up? Do I have to
Yeah,
just give enough money and?
Spend more time in
No.
the closet, man.
Oh Jesus!
No, with Mormons, you first of all, you couldn't drink beer anymore. So I'm
See?
thinking that's a deal breaker.
It's not
probably.
gonna work for me. It's not gonna
Yeah,
work
no.
for me at all.
They're quite the
No.
cursors as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Also,
it's-
all that gay sex we like.
Now,
Right. If
No,
they're not gonna
no.
allow that, we're
you
totally
can't. Oh, and you cannot jerk off if you're Mormon either. Period.
Oh.
I'm jerking off right now.
I know.
It's awful.
They all are.
that's right.
Why do you think we have a table level right
That's why this hand isn't in the
I know.
video frame.
This is how we keep.
Well,
This is how we keep Jen warm.
well, see, you guys know that even on video vlogging, you know, in a hangout, who wears pants? Like, you don't, you know. I mean, you guys could podcast naked, but, you know, we have to wear tops, but we don't have to wear
Pants.
pants.
We are
That's
never
so-
going to podcast naked.
We
I'm
keep
just gonna
trying
put
to
that out
convince
there.
Jen, and she's way against
She
it.
says we like it means all of us.
Yeah.
Something about distracted podcasting. I don't know.
Apparently, I'm getting married next weekend, and whoa.
Yeah, suddenly there's like rules about other movies. I don't
Hey,
know.
I've been married for years. My wife is just glad I'm gone for one night. Are you podcasting tonight? Because I really wish you would be podcasting tonight.
Right.
It is a sauna in here by the time we're done, so
It
you may
is.
as well.
Hey, there's our friend Tech in the Q&A says that naked podcasting is his favorite pastime. So, well, and we know Tech. You guys would know. I do another show on Saturday nights. I'm a panelist, and Tech is one of my co-panelists. And yeah, he says he's not wearing any pants, and he's proud of it because he never wears pants when we do the show.
I'm
Definitely.
technically not wearing pants anyway.
Those
so.
are. I have
Yes.
more
Oh,
fabric
yeah,
in my
yes, I know.
underwear than what you're wearing.
I'm wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts.
That's because you're massive. Your underwear
Yeah,
is huge.
dude. It's because they make your underwear out of old sails. It's not the same discussion.
And if he has a giant scrotum, well, he's going to need more fabric, right?
No, I wrap that around me like underwear.
He's
and then
not
put the
really
underwear
sitting
on.
on a chair. He's not really sitting on a chair. It's actually just his scrotum that he's sitting on.
Squats on his balls.
Wasn't there was a South Park episode about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, testicular cancer
All
and
cancer.
KFC
Yeah.
and weed. Yeah,
Yes, that's
good
right.
episode.
It was indeed. So,
Hi, Tuck.
were you guys like religious at one point, or any like? Did you guys get out, or were you guys?
We covered this on our recent episode. I
Yeah,
think it's
you don't listen
42.
to our show?
Jeez, what the hell?
But for the listeners,
I don't listen to our
I have other people. There's other people in the world besides me. Just so you know.
All right.
There
Well,
he
when you're
is.
done going through Noah's back catalog, we're almost as kind of mish good.
Not even close.
we
Yeah.
have a
Anyway.
different background. All four of us come from a very different set. Aaron came from pretty much nothing ever.
My parents were very clear that religion was utilitarian, and if you needed to use it to achieve a... Basically, my mom was a Bene Gesserit high priestess and
Very nice,
understood
very
the
nice.
utility of religion and made no qualms about its fucking ridiculous nature. So, I don't know, whatever.
I
My
must
God.
not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the
There's a
little
death
death.
of total
That brings
obliteration.
total obliteration, yes.
So yes, if you noticed Dune's lovely lower third there, yeah, she's got a lovely worm there.
My father was a Southern Baptist minister for 40
Either
years.
one.
Oh!
Oh, ouch!
So yeah, that'll burn the God right out of you.
Uh-huh. Wow.
My mother's
Right.
currently a Southern Baptist missionary. So
Oh!
she's actually been to Iceland twice to try to convert them, which I
That
think
sounds
is
kinda cool.
hilarious.
Vikings
Oh, wow.
are so much cooler than Christians.
How do you try to convert a country that's got their shit together by saying what you need is Jesus?
You challenge them to
Fuck it all
simple
up.
combat. We've
Oh,
listened to people
oh!
here.
Next time she goes over, she really has to visit the Penis Museum.
There's a clock museum.
There is.
It
Yes!
has a whale dick, and it
Yes!
has the world's largest guy dick. We
Yeah,
talked
we
about
talked about
episode
that.
No.
Yeah.
The last I saw, there's a documentary about the place actually,
I
and the man's dick that is there, he was like 95 and was like boning 20-year-olds when he died. Still.
Oh no, that's not the biggest anymore. There's a dude
No.
that lives in-
It
the
wasn't
biggest one
supposed to
in
be
a
the
museum.
biggest one. It was just the
Oh.
only
The most-
human one they had.
Okay, well,
So
there's
they
a
have
dude
a-
in New
used
York
one.
dragging a tree trunk around, and he's got a standing deal with him. When he dies, they're hacking
Oh,
it
cool.
off and shipping it to him because apparently he's like seriously just a tripod.
It's like 11 inches
Wow.
flat.
Yeah, it is. He's got feet of dick. It's-
Awful.
19 inches.
Apparently, he has a hard
Shit.
time actually getting someone to hook up with him
No
for that
shit.
reason.
Yeah, well, it turns out when you knock all your girlfriend's fillings out, they don't come back.
Shit's expensive.
So yeah, there's a penis museum in Iceland. If I ever go there, I'm definitely visiting it. And I will make sure to wear this shirt when I go.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, hello.
That's got a big dick on it.
You don't wear that one to
It
work,
does.
do you?
Is that
no.
the long distance shirt?
Yes, it
that's
is.
what she was talking about on their last show.
Well, they mention it on the show all the time, but I don't know that there's a picture
Yep.
of it like on their site. So I
No.
Yeah, no, this
Well,
is
now
the
we
guy.
know.
And did you know that I went and modeled this in front of Glory Hole Donuts?
the
in
donuts,
Toronto?
yeah. Apparently
Yeah.
they were wholly underwhelmed by the experience. The guy
They
was
were. I was like, I came here specifically because of the name and look at my cool Glory Hole shirt, and they were like, oh, and would you like drink with that?
Give me a double and a donut.
Apple latte with some semen in it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the cream filling.
I did have a lemon cream filled donut, and it was very, very good. Very, very good. It's not quite Krispy Kreme level, but it was definitely better than Tim Hortons, which I know sacrilege, but it's Glory Hole.
I almost brought these guys back some Tim Hortons once upon a time, but they didn't make it out of the airport.
Apparently he dropped them into his face.
Yeah, just into the gaping maw that is my mouth.
So what's your favorite? What's your favorite Tim Hortons? donut.
Oh, the double chocolate glazed donuts.
Those
Not
are
the kind
good.
with the fudge on top, just the double
No.
chocolate glazed.
Yep, I
Otherwise
know the one
known
you
as the
mean.
heart attack.
Yeah, with a large vanilla latte with 6 extra shots in it.
So it is known as the heart
Insulin?
attack.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
basically just fucking caffeine with creamer in it.
I'm partial to the honey
Yeah,
cruller
yeah, right.
myself.
That's
I'm partial to the honey cruller.
What's a
So
cruller?
cruller.
It's
It's
a spirally donut.
yeah, it's
Okay,
spirally. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's
If it
ones where
wasn't
they twist them
round,
together.
Yeah, it's a double
Yeah.
helix of donuts.
Okay, I've had that.
Mm.
it looks like a big. If it was straight, it would look like a corkscrew, but it's round.
It's a twirly donut.
I don't
It's
like
really-
donuts, so there.
You're
I don't eat
broken.
sweets.
See, and I'm all about Dunkin' Donuts because I grew up on the East Coast.
Yeah. Beth is originally from Buffalo, so.
Oh.
Okay.
We had
Yeah.
Jets donuts were our big ones in Buffalo.
And I grew up in New Hampshire.
I drove through Buffalo
There you
once.
go. I have been
Saw it
to
on the news.
I have been to Santa's Village in Jefferson, New Hampshire.
That is
and
an awesome place.
I was there in 1982,
That was.
and
Wait, Santa's real? Because he owes me about
Yeah.
20 years of back presents.
Well, he's
You
got
were
a village.
Jewish for a little while.
Right, so I got a shit ton of dreidels. Turns out you can sell those for Nintendo. But
sweet.
it's because dreidel is basically the world's youngest gambling device. It's not really a toy. It's an introduction in fleecing your friends. So yeah, you can absolutely turn dreidel into video games. You just have to load the die, dreidel.
What a sad
I thought it
childhood.
was a top or something.
Well, yeah, but if you
spin
dribble
it, it's like a dice that you spin.
yeah, so you can get it to land on the same
See,
side
I am
every
so
time.
the opposite of Jew anything. I have no idea what a dreidel is, except for the South Park episode
But
when
you-
they sing
Now,
about
see,
it.
I did the money thing really well. My problem with being Jew-ish was that I couldn't eat bacon anymore. And when I showed up to
Seder.
what was that? Seder,
It's a
yeah.
Seder.
You show up to a Seder with a bacon-wrapped ham, that shit does not fly. Yeah,
Funny that.
you get the
So
funny
so
ones.
you tried that on purpose, or was there?
Well,
No, he's an idiot. He's
Says-
gonna.
Really? Says the guy who learned Hebrew to see tits?
They were nice tits. They were nice tits.
Literally, learned Hebrew.
That could be a good reason to learn Hebrew.
Her lungs were amazing.
How good would they have to be to learn a
Yes.
language?
I'm pretty
Yes.
sure they could have cured world hunger.
You'll hear him speak Hebrew occasionally on our show when we
Yeah.
push him to it.
Shane do
Awesome.
stuff.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'moslechem min haaretz. Drink some drink.
Awesome. Woo! All right, I'll drink to that.
That was the bread toast, which works for beer too.
That's what I kind of figured.
Sweet. So actually, Shay, you didn't tell us if you had a flavor of religion at one point.
I have had all of the flavors and found them
very
wanting.
nice. Very nice.
So I am in limbo, and I'm
So
the
what
only one that's an agnostic in this room.
Okay.
Still calls himself a theist.
He's in the middle of an existential crisis.
It is.
He
It's
calls
why,
himself a theist.
it's why I drink a lot.
I sometimes call myself agnostic, but it's,
Okay.
it's a bounce
I
back.
told
and
the
smooth,
the
but-
bone marrow people I was an atheist today.
And they were like, "No,
Yeah.
we don't
Like,
need
we
that."
don't need your marrow, sorry.
No, yeah, there was like a donor drive to sign up to be a
Right.
bone marrow donor, and I was like, "Fuck, I'll do that." So I'm like scrubbing my gum or cheek or whatever
You're
the fuck.
getting a DNA.
Yeah,
swab.
yeah.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't brush my teeth after lunch. Do we need to? And they're like, no, it's fine. If you test as a turkey, we know you had a sandwich. And so, they had a little thing, and they were like, well, why are you donating whatever DNA to find out about bone marrow shit? And I was like, because I'm an atheist. And they were like, I was like, see, in a world without God or magic, it's up to us to do good. And the lady was like,
And once,
That's awesome.
Sounds like my doctor the other day.
That's awesome.
kind of like being a donor. Once I'm done with this body, I could give a shit what happens to it. You
Man,
know?
I don't care. I lose genetic material all the time. Like
Right.
hair falls out, skin falls off, other things winds up in keyboards. The point is that this time I can do some good with it.
I think my dead body should be donated to necrophiliacs so
Right?
someone can keep having fun with it.
There you
Just an
go.
outlet for folks that
There
can't
you
otherwise.
go.
I won't care.
Yeah.
I can't.
I want to donate
Why?
mine to amateur
She was just starting to say
Oh, I was
something.
gonna say, I want to donate mine to amateur taxidermists. They can make a puppet.
I was
They're
gonna say that
yesterday.
there was some sort of moral conundrum test thing that a friend of mine talked about a while ago, and it came up with if a family member or friend put in their will that you were to donate their body for necrophilia, would you do it? I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I?
Yeah,
Like,
most
Exactly.
things I've ever gotten.
Let them have it. They can have all of this.
Finally, Emma can have her wish.
It would be nice to be. Look, even if I'm dead, it'll be nice to feel wanted.
And they can call my wife to find out what it was like.
See, there you go.
exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to be turned into. I want to be planted for a tree. That's what I want.
Oh, you
That's
want
what
to
my wife
tree
wants.
eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
It'd be good. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to be made into diamonds. That'd be kind of cool.
If you turn into a tree, you'll finally know what it feels like to be mourning wood.
I knew wood was gonna have something to do. I wish you to spit it out faster.
See, if
Yeah,
you're a patron for our show, this is all the stuff you're missing otherwise.
After cementing his joints go much smoother.
Basically, our bonus content is all just Shay stumbling over his diction.
Drink some more. Drink some more.
Uh,
But see, that's the beauty of live video is I don't have to edit nearly as much usually.
Or
Although
not.
for some reason I have to figure out why my sound wasn't playing earlier, because now I have to go back and put the fucking intro in later. Yay!
Oh.
I know. Well, I upgraded to Windows 10 a week or two ago, so that's probably why.
Sorry.
I'll just blame Windows 10.
Yeah.
It's alright. It's alright.
Windows.
I know, Apple guy. I know the Apple.
it's
Yeah.
horrible.
I get made fun of regularly for having my BlackBerry as it is, so you know.
I didn't.
You have a
yeah.
BlackBerry?
I can take it. I do. See the BlackBerry.
I didn't know that company was still producing products.
They don't. She got it
Yes.
on eBay.
Oh.
No. This is actually a Z10, and it's a smartphone and shit. It does most. The only thing it doesn't do is Google Hangouts, which I wish it did, but it doesn't. So. And apparently it will. You've muted yourselves, by the way.
What the fuck is Zed?
Yeah.
I had to call
Aaron-
it.
They call it that is the thing at the end of the alphabet.
No, it's a
Yes.
word you made up with your
No,
Canadian
it's
brethren.
dude.
No, you don't call B buh. It's not A B C boo sounds. It's the letters.
Why did your
Letters have names and then they have sounds.
Yes.
We've had this conversation before. He's completely wrong, but he
Okay,
won't give
but-
up.
how
I'm
do you
sorry, but
how do
no.
you pronounce O?
Zoo.
Yeah, you don't pronounce it Z-U.
You know,
Like
how
the
do you
letter
pronounce
is called
cat?
Z.
You don't
No.
know that. Seat. You don't have a little Seat running around, do you?
yeah, but an O is an O, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was
Don't
gonna
say
say
Zed. Don't say Zed anymore, please. Just for tonight.
I can't help it though. That's okay. At least.
This is the American
no,
education system happening right
Well,
over
see-
right over here.
The nice thing is they're making fun of you, and I'm not getting made fun of for my accent for once.
Of course we're not getting because we're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Queen's English, as it turns out, is a thing.
You know, when you say because we're right, that sounds something starkly similar to what Hitler said.
I
Oh,
think,
yeah. Just going straight to Hitler?
I think
Okay,
the Queen's
Beck,
English doesn't
Santorum
matter.
can do it. Why can't I?
All right, Rush.
The Queen's English doesn't matter anymore. Britain is a fallen leader. It's all
Hey,
about
you know what?
the U.S. now, motherfucker.
We still have her on our money.
I grew up.
We
I'm
have
from Georgia, so I understand
Santorum.
being made fun of for your accents. I totally get that.
Fuckers.
Yeah, well, this will blow your minds, but I was married to a guy from Richmond, Virginia, for a few years.
Is that the South? Because it doesn't
Was it-
seem like the South.
It's kind of. It's
Yeah.
on the line.
Oh, it's
Well,
it's below
they're-
Mason-Dixon.
They're the ones that are like, it's the war of northern aggression.
God.
Oh, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the land of the KKK? I
Yeah,
don't know. I've never
pretty
been there.
Kai. You gotta put that
Well,
drawl
they're
on there.
very proud. They're very proud of the fact that Richmond was the capital of the Confederate government.
Yeah.
They're very
Yeah,
proud
that's
about that.
totes something to be proud of.
They're proud
Yes.
that they were the leaders of an aggression against
Everyone.
their own country.
Yeah, fucking everyone
Yeah.
that wasn't rich, white, and male.
Everything about Georgia's history is related to the Civil War practically, so I
Pretty
totally
much.
get that.
When you get to just call it and start over.
Well,
I don't
Just-
know. We just think
do
about
it.
Sherman's March to the Sea.
Just do a
Yeah.
tooth count, get rid of everybody
Well, I
that
was-
didn't make the cut.
I was down to Savannah in June, actually. Well, I was there in April and June, actually, visiting Miss Ashley. And yeah,
June's hot.
but it was very, very hot. In fact, I lasted about an hour walking around the downtown before I had to send Bobby and Ashley to go get their car because I'm like, I'm done. And Bobby and Ashley are born and raised in that area, and even Ashley had to sit down on the way back to get her car. So I'm like, okay, I'm not a total pussy. This is good. Okay. But
I grew
yeah,
up about 45 minutes from Savannah, so.
okay, there you go. Yeah, we did, well, I was at ReasonCon in April down in Hickory.
Yes.
And, yes.
We're
Hickory.
hoping to hit that next year.
Oh,
We're
you
hoping.
have to. You have to. It was so much fun. And then in June, my husband and I did a motorcycle trip through the Blue Ridge Mountains and such. And then after we went to Biltmore Estates,
Of
we
course.
popped down to Savannah to say hi to Ashley and Bobby C.
Well, you hit the big, very classy highlights of going around the South, so good
I
for you.
did. I did. It was pretty awesome. And I'm a history nerd, so that works for me. And Jim, the friend of ours that we were traveling with, he's a North Carolinian. I forget which town he's from, but he has a season's pass to Biltmore. So we basically had our own tour guide with us.
Why you would go there like multiple times a year, but I mean,
I would.
Christmas is neat. but-
But well, I'm a history nerd, so I would go there as much as possible because there's always something you missed the last time. At least
True.
that's
For the
way I
folks
would.
who don't know what we're talking about, the Biltmore House is the largest private estate in the United States. It's now like a tourist place, but it's basically it's built kind of with the scale of Versailles,
Oh wow.
and it's
That's good. I had no idea what you were talking about.
incredibly huge
Yeah.
and amazing. It has like 7 swimming pools inside,
Hmm.
these amazing like royal gardens around it. and-
My experience with Georgia begins and ends with the Atlanta airport.
This is actually in North.
Yeah,
It's
you
in
have
North
to.
Carolina. It's in Biltmore House in
Oh,
North
okay,
Carolina.
well, I've been to North Carolina.
Asheville.
My
I've
dad,
been to
Asheville.
Asheville. I didn't see the big mansion in Asheville. I have been there.
It's about 45 minutes outside of town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we more like Asheville was kind of like a right turn to go north.
Well, and it was fun. While I was there, I actually dropped by the Atheism 101 podcast. So, and my friend Paul gave me shit for podcasting on my vacation. I'm like,
yeah, really.
well, what else are you gonna do? Like, come on.
Hey, we're gonna have
Well,
Matt on this
yeah.
week.
Yeah, Matt's on Wednesday on our show.
We've talked to those guys
Yay.
before. They're all about like doing homework and shit.
Well, yeah, and in fact, 2 weeks
Yeah.
from now, I'll be podcasting from Ireland.
You will?
That
Yeah, we
beauty.
decided that.
No.
Well,
That's-
he's
that's
sending
awesome.
Some reports from the field.
Yeah, I'm
is-
looking. And I'm going to Scotland to look for Nessie.
Woohoo! All right. Well, I see now. My name is McTaggart, so I'm very Scots and all that. So.
And mine
Oh,
was
my-
mine was Connolly, which is Irish.
Uh-huh.
Because of
Well,
the reasons.
It's weird. We use the Irish spelling of McTaggart, but I'm pretty sure it's Scottish. But whatever. I don't know. My mother's side is like 100% limey, so I sort of have to hate myself. I guess.
And you
at
don't
that
like beer. What in the world?
No, I don't like beer.
Tell us you at least drink whiskey.
Not really.
You're letting your
I-
kids down.
You really
I know,
are.
I know. I'm liking wine. I used to drink vodka, and then I found out that that's really bad for diabetic people. So now I drink wine.
You
So,
drink
lots of
wine, and that's better because vodka has lots of sugar and wine doesn't.
No, it's a malt liquor, so it converts to sugar, I guess, a lot harder and faster than.
Interesting. Well,
I don't.
enjoy your wine, Wino.
We can
I
always
don't
make
know.
maple syrup
I
mead.
Ugh.
Yeah, we need to do that.
That's actually like a thing that's established.
I don't want to have
Do
anything
that.
to do with maple syrup that doesn't also
That
have
sounds
something
terrible.
to do with pancakes and/or waffles. Other
I
than
can-
that,
I
maple
can-
syrup has no purpose.
Well, I can serve waffles.
With the liquor?
Why don't we serve waffles with beer?
I just got a waffle maker as a wedding present.
It's possible
Meat and
we're going to go
waffles.
on
we
a
can do
tangent.
waffles when we record.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You could replace the hat in the middle of the table with the waffle maker.
We can
And
replace
This is a quantum leap forward in
It's
podcasting
hot enough in
technology.
here as it is,
Yeah.
sorry.
we can replace the second W with waffles. So we will be waiting for
Waiting for a waffle.
Or
I really missed a
waffles.
branding opportunity.
or potentially waffling for wrath.
Waffling for rap.
Here's a
There we go.
question.
We'll just
Here's a
make
question.
waffles and throw them at fundies.
How the fuck did you guys get together and start doing this?
Well, Steve asked me out for a really lovely date.
It was
And,
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. You slipped me the tongue straight away. It was kind of gross.
I'm serious like that. I don't waste time.
So it started with you and I
Yeah.
and a third friend of ours
Well,
who
here's how this. Okay, here's
All right,
the
one
actual
person needs to
story.
tell the story.
I've been listening to Cognitive Dissonance and TGIA and Scathing, at least for as long as he's been on, for a long time now. And it occurred to me that if Tom and Cecil could do this, we probably could too.
Yep.
So then we found out it's actually really hard to do. And Shay and I made it through the first 6 or 7 shows just totally muddle fucking through it.
oh, it was bad.
7, 8, whatever. And then realizing that Shay occasionally had life to do, and I was just breaking balls trying to get it all done.
Yeah, it
But
was back
Steve
when I
did.
had 3 jobs too.
You did have 3 jobs.
No.
And Steve knows a thing or two about media production, so we invited him on, and I think it took like 2 episodes before we were all using independent mics, and
Yeah, I
There was a
stepped
quantum leap
into what
forward
the
in
recording
quality.
system and thought, I can't be a part of this. We got to add some gear.
and then we made it another 4 or 5 episodes, and realized that we had 2 kind of
Straight.
the straight guys, the ones that make dry jokes, and drunky pants over here.
Well, when,
So we needed A, content, B, diversity, and 3, frankly, comedy and friendliness. So
We
So-
needed to add some smarts to the show.
Shay set us up with this quote awesome chick he knew, and
this story is going in a different direction than what actually happened. But,
then we met at a bar.
We should probably let Jen take it over. from
Well-
here.
Well, this is the lead up. Shay's like, we need to go to the bar because there's this awesome lady. And so we get to the bar, and not knowing who it is, Shay and I get in an argument about
X-Men or some
Thanos
shit.
and X-Men.
no, I wasn't there because I forgot.
You were
just
there.
forgot
You were there.
being there because
You
you're
were
a drunk.
he was there. So there's a bar very close to where my husband and I live that Shay actually had been the bartender at.
Okay.
And we just happened to be there one night, and Shay comes in, and we had gotten friendly with Shay at this point because he's a big goofball, and you could be, he's easy to talk to.
Shay has about 7 billion friends. We're just the ones lucky enough to have met him.
Right.
Was that sweet? I'm trying that out
That was
for us.
pretty good. That was
pretty
nice.
good? All right,
I
that's
like
going in
that.
the
That was
speech.
nice.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
So they came in, he came in with these other 2 dudes that I had never seen before, and actually sat next to my husband and I, sat next to I just punched Aaron in the face. Sat next to us at the bar.
Aaron, what the hell? You're Canadian. You're supposed to apologize for that shit. Come on.
Oh, well, I was just going to let it, because I clearly got in her way.
Or blocked me and like punch out my teeth.
Don't you owe her a donut in your culture?
But anyway, so they sat down next to the bar, and again, I had no idea that Shay was like, "You've got to meet this gal." They didn't say anything to
Oh,
me.
yeah, I had forgotten to tell
They-
Jen she was meeting me.
They completely ignored me.
She was like a picture in at this point.
So, so I
I only knew her as the person sitting beside me at the bar.
We had no idea.
I just started overhearing them arguing about Marvel characters, and like, no, obviously Thanatos is not the. I don't know what it was.
Blah,
but
blah, blah. Comic book, blah, blah, blah.
Finally, I was like, my husband wouldn't get off his phone, so I was bored. So I just turned to them and I was like, I'm just gonna start talking to you guys, because by the way, you're wrong. And
It was love at first.
I was mixing up my kitty pride and my
Jubilee,
yeah.
something I don't remember.
That was
But
not. It was
And
not
then, like,
cool.
10 minutes in, I remembered that I was supposed to introduce them.
Yeah, so that's how it started. They were like, bye, we have a podcast.
Yeah, really. Shay finally fucking come up for air, and he was like, "Oh, by the way."
This is Jen.
So it was kind of kismet, kind of Shay. And then
And kind of
was it?
serendipity.
I might be God.
Yeah. He just puts the pieces in order and lets things happen.
Very nice, very nice.
Drunk.
So it was meant to be.
Well,
Bring
and one of
episode
the
13 on. She's
one
in.
of the fun things that you guys always do, which is why you'll probably never ask me on your show, is that you showcase a beer every episode.
Indeed.
We're showcasing quite a few currently, even.
We are drinking. We're drinking a bunch of Odell's tonight. I've made it through 2 IPAs, and I'm not just like totally burping fire.
It's
so,
a pale ale. It's
Yeah,
Jetware.
we're getting there. I'm gonna
See,
be regretting
I'm-
life later.
I'm so arrogant, or I'm so ignorant. I don't even know what the fucking IPA is, or whatever you just said.
An IPA is an India Pale Ale, and an APA is a America Pale Ale,
It's just
Okay.
hop amounts.
which is not
Yeah.
entirely indistinguishable from an IPA.
It's
just
ranch
kind
flavored beer.
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
there's a little bit more
See, I
NASCAR
hear-
in it.
I hear APA, I'm thinking American Psychological Association.
Interestingly enough, one does lead to the other.
We drink them our problems. We don't talk through them.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Bunch of talkers.
Well, Jen, you
Yeah.
had a Steel Clubber bottle a minute ago.
Out of what?
Well, what I
Oh,
think's cool about you guys doing the beer is I'm not a beer drinker. I do drink it occasionally, the micros, but I've listened to some of your earlier shows, and your critiques, so to speak, have gotten better and better and better as you've gone along, and I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of an interesting thing to do. So.
Absolutely.
As it turns out, if you want nuance in those critiques, the trick is to not start drinking at noon.
Right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we had to start recording during the week so that we could be sober enough to actually get all of our stuff done
Sober
in 3
enough
hours.
to go.
I feel like I'm always the drunkest when I give the best reviews.
Yeah, I feel like you're always the drunkest too.
I feel like you're the one we cut out of every episode the most.
Look, all I'm saying is that, raise your hand if you put Shay to bed after a recording.
Every hand. Thank you, Beth. I feel like we are getting better. I think things are kind of coming together.
We've established a bit of a
Absolutely.
criteria now. When we started out, we were doing the number rating, but it was mostly just this is a 5, or like randomly out of the air.
Yeah.
And now we have enough, I think, to have like a baseline so we can give real numbers to things.
Ooh, so you're turning into
I
actual
know.
beer connoisseurs. Nice.
Well,
Aaron's a home brewer, so he's got a lot of knowledge, and I'm
So-
I've been a drinker for years, so.
I drink beers on the show, but generally speaking, I prefer drinking nice Canadian whiskey.
yeah.
And I'm a
Hey.
professional drinker.
He'll drink anything.
Steve loves me for that because everybody, like, they hear I'm Canadian, so they think the first thing they do is like, "Oh, we found this lovely
Well,
Canadian whiskey for you."
Yeah.
This fucking horrible pig swill. Here you go, Steve. And then
Steve gets a new bottle of Canadian whiskey.
And he trades it for a 6-pack, and we're all happy.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my husband drinks something out of Alberta, I think. I don't know what the fuck it is. But yeah.
I like Tangle Ridge. It's good. Canadian rye.
He watched my dog once, the studio dog, and I wanted to give him a thank you gift, so I got him some maple syrup Crown Royal, which is apparently a thing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, apparently it's not entirely dissimilar to whiskey.
It's beyond horrible. My wife wouldn't even drink it, and she's
No.
not picky.
I
My
have
wife
the-
will drink anything.
You could probably make pancakes with it or something.
It
Oh,
even
yuck.
smells just horrible.
Yeah, well, so we talk a lot of shit during the show, but Shay and I actually both brew, and not too long ago finished a beer brewing class, and we're signed back up for the sensory class for professional beer tasting.
So they're legitimately becoming connoisseurs.
Yeah, we're working on it. We
Very
got
cool.
2 ready for his wedding now.
And I feel like I study a lot more than you do when it comes to beer.
Well, you certainly drink more than I do.
He crams it, that's for
This is
sure.
what I call
That's
studying.
studying.
You fucking cheat on the tap
Studying.
more than I do.
I should have my my doctorate in beer drinking.
This guy, his fiance drinks a beer and he untaps it. So, you know.
As long as I taste it, it counts.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Kissing her
go.
when she's done with the bottle does not count,
It
dude.
does.
Oh shit. See, and my husband drinks beer, and I'm like, yeah, can you go brush your teeth now, please?
It's not a good linger.
Emma's kisses are sweet like lager.
They're
Well, he's,
malty.
he's got a mustache too, so sometimes
Oh.
there's like, yeah, little.
That's what you call snacks for later. That's why I keep my mustache. Right now it's filled with beer foam. Want to feel?
Jesus.
You feel the beer foam.
Don't-
Yeah, he thinks he's joking. I've seen him lick barbecue sauce out of his lip pubes. It's not great.
Ew.
Kentucky Fried Mustache.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't they have royalties over that now? You have to pay
Kentucky
them if you
Fried?
say Kentucky. Yeah. That's why it's KFC, because they trademark Kentucky.
Well, they can sue us for it.
yeah, really, right?
We'll get more listeners
That's
that
how
way.
we know we have.
Yeah, there you
Some
go.
They can
notoriety.
totally have the no money that's in my wallet.
Yeah. No. You give them Canadian money, it'll freak them the fuck out.
There we go.
This is far too colorful for real money.
That's actually kind of
How would you
interesting.
know?
We don't get a lot of Patreon accounts, that sort of thing, but we get a lot of donations in beer.
It's true.
So
Right.
it works out.
Either way, we're on time.
Matthew the Apostle might have mortgaged his last house to buy us beer.
He's bought us a lot of beer.
But I mean, we've
Wow.
gotten it from all different kind of corners, and I like that because it seems like we've kind of got a little niche there that a lot of other
Yeah.
podcasts don't have.
Yeah,
so.
we get to drink beer.
The free beer niche. That is an awesome niche to control of.
What
Yeah.
sucks, what sucks though, where I live, I can't get any of the beer that you guys talk about, and it's like,
Aw.
damn. I mean, not
In
that.
Buffalo, really?
No, I live in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I love
5
Pennsylvania.
hours from Philly, 3
Oh.
hours from Pittsburgh. The closest town/city, it's considered a city, but it's like no bigger than where I grew up outside of Buffalo, is 35 minutes away.
Oh, yeah.
BFEPA.
And there, well, I'm in Yingling country.
Okay.
That is delicious beer.
No, it's not.
I
Yes.
thought
I love Yingling.
It's a cheap
it
lager.
Chinese?
Oh, it's so.
No, it's
It
from
sounds
like
like something Budweiser makes.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa brews it in Pennsylvania.
No, do you have Iron City out there?
Yes, we can get Iron City here, but I mean, I can't like where I work, we sell they'll sell to me because I work there. I can buy like single bottles, but we don't get a wide variety. So it's like, but we have state liquor stores and state beer stores,
Oh, they're all
Yeah.
state. That's right.
and
Iron City tastes like it has iron filings in it.
yeah, I still have a beer in my fridge
Awful.
from not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before. That's how little I drink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were debating doing an episode where we just rapid fire rate like Bud and Coors and Miller and.
I don't think anyone wants to hear about that.
Well, the
though.
problem is they're not
those.
real beer because they're brewed with rice and not grain because it's cheaper.
That's his pet peeve. Don't put rice in beer.
But the world's oldest codified
That is
national
true.
legal system was the German Reinheitsgebot, which was the German beer purity law in the 1600s. It's what all of our constitutions are modeled after.
Mm-hmm.
It's the world's first voted on national law. And these
Nice.
cockwads at the Budweiser brewery are just like, no, fuck it, rice is good.
Rice is delicious.
Like, beer has 4 ingredients. You've managed to do it with 3.
Oh.
It's got barley in it too.
No.
If somebody waved some
Okay,
barley at the
okay.
tank,
I think we're getting a little.
Might
Pull
be
it
a
back.
little
Pull
off
it back.
track. Yeah. In case you were, in
we
case it was
had a
obvious,
track.
that hits Aaron right in the.
right in the
in the-
craw.
I was gonna play Beth's segment, but I'm hoping that I can actually get it to play because the audio was not playing last time, which is kind of sucky. So,
We'll act it out.
oh, it's about satanic rituals in Planned Parenthood abortions.
We can table. We can sacrifice Shay.
As long as we can do it without pants.
You
Oh,
move
no.
the studio if I die.
Oh,
You definitely
shit.
don't need pants for an abortion, not at all.
Yeah,
So.
but I think I know what role I would play, and I'm just gonna back out.
You're the doctor.
Oh, okay.
Stage the abortion.
I'm gonna spread my legs and we're gonna see what happens.
Oh, God.
Woo!
I am
All right.
not digging through you with a coat hanger, dude. That's not going to happen.
I'll do it.
Let's let her see if she can.
Well, let me try and see if this will play, and I may have to take a moment and do some troubleshooting while you guys talk, which I don't think you'll have a problem with for some
No,
reason.
no, we have no trouble
Okay.
hijacking your show.
Can you hear anything right now?
Just you.
No.
I hear Shay clanging
Yeah.
bottles around.
Shay's got a landfill of beer bottles.
Okay, so you didn't hear anything right then.
No.
Show I went to.
Hmm.
That's I don't know why. Great. Lovely.
Did you flip that switch that you always have to flip?
Nope, it was unflipped in the first place. So, according to what I am seeing on my mixer, it should be playing just peachy fine.
Are
So,
people outside
I'm a
of
little
the chat room?
I'm a little confused as to why. Because like when I played the intro, it's showing up on the mixer just fine, like it's piping through where it should be. I think.
Tuck, are you hearing anything?
Yeah, Tack, chime in, dude. Well, I'm not playing it right now because it's kind of hard for me to hang up. Now I'm playing it.
I'm not hearing anything.
No, nothing.
Should we be hearing it?
Anybody in chat hearing it? Yeah. I'm
Yes,
echoing.
you should be. Okay. So you're not hearing a damn thing, huh?
No, we are not.
Motherfucker. Let me just check something here in my settings. Oh, that could be. Hang on. Let me just...
Can you ask Cortana?
Okay.
That might have fallen.
That's the Windows 10 assistant. Yeah.
Yeah, I turned that off with all the
That's
other
because she
security
listens to
features.
everything you say.
Yeah, it's disgustingly.
Windows is fucking creep-tastic.
Well, these fine ladies are lucky enough to actually be the first ones to have all four of us on as guests at once.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I don't know gonna happen again.
Are
I don't know, but
you
it's longer.
able to hear me? Are you able to hear me right now?
I'm hearing you.
Very low.
Okay,
And
okay.
echo.
Start. Okay, well, but can you hear this?
There
Yeah,
we go.
Hey,
Okay.
Satan.
Okay, so you can hear that. All right.
Indeed.
Okay, it was something in the setting. God damn it. Okay, so are you still hearing me echo?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to do screen share. I'm going to play Beth's segment, and you guys have about 12 minutes to go take a leak and stuff, and like get more beer.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go find some Tums.
Okay, here we go.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Havoc and Chaos Live, a small glimpse into the batshittery we call news. And warning, I do swear, and I'm very excitable. So, if four-letter words or longer offend you, you may want to go listen to something else. As many of you already know, I have a keen interest in what I call demons, deliverance, and exorcism. It was this mindset many moons ago that nearly killed me. Not in a physical sense per se, but psychologically. So when this headline,
Ex-Satanist. Babies ritually aborted for the devil.
with the undertitle of
Your hands have to get bloody.
hit my newsfeed, well, you can imagine my ire and disgust. Zachary King is a Catholic wannabe version of Mike Warnke, and believes that satanic rituals are being performed at your local abortion clinic. In other words, Planned Parenthood. Why does he believe so? According to the article's author,
King said he was hired to be there, casting his spells by the abortionist.
Quoting King directly, "You have to be part of the procedure. They have hired you to perform a satanic spell, and in order for that to happen, your hands have to get bloody. My left hand guided the way, and the right hand had a scalpel. The women never winced or anything. Both hands were bloody. I participated in about 141 abortions. I doubt my actions actually killed any children, but I was still there." Holman continues.
He said, referring to King, "The women whose abortions he attended would get pregnant with the intent of killing their unborn baby as a sacrifice to Satan."
So, the women knew why I was there. They know there's a satanic ritual going on. In 1987, at the age of 19, I became a high wizard, and I did my last abortion in 1997. From the time I was 14 to age 19, I did probably 5 of them. So I did a bit of digging. The interview originated with Michael Hitchborn of the Lepanto Institute. It was then reported on by LifeNews.com, independent news agency devoted to reporting news that affects the pro-life community. It finally reached Leo Holman of World Nut Daily, but his article is just a repetitious bunch of junk with no fresh perspective or novelty. Now, I'm not going to get into the differences between theistic and atheistic forms of Satanism, nor any of the other batshittery that always surrounds this topic, i.e. Hitler, Manson, Mengele, and Margaret Sanger. They always seem to make an appearance from the religious fucktards. But I want you to think about what he said, and how fucking stupid it is. It is a point our very own heretic woman made before she was banned and her comments deleted. Satanists, 1, don't have covens. 2, although not mentioned in Holman's article, King states in the original interview, "I have been in the World Church of Satan." Okay, I've never seen such a reference to said organization, nor have I been able to find any references to such. What the fuck is a high wizard? For an example, I looked at the Church of Satan's hierarchy, and they have no such thing. There are no substantiated claims of human sacrifice by any satanic group, ever. And what the fuck is a non-medical person doing in an operating theater? Another point, exactly what type of abortion was he providing? My left hand guided the way, and the right hand had a scalpel? And this last one is kind of self-explanatory. I doubt my actions actually killed any children, but I was still there. Think on that. So, dude can't even seem to get his terminology correct, let alone provide any evidence that these satanic rituals are occurring besides the fact that abortions do take place. The author doesn't do much better, relying on innuendo and rumor.
In December 2010, LifeSite News, a pro-life website, published a profile of Abigail Seidman, who from the age of 10 was working in an abortion clinic managed by her mother, a nurse.
Just on a side note, King can't seem to get his narrative correct either. One minute he's in an operating room, the next it's some farmhouse that has surprisingly more sterile than many of the other abortion clinics I had done abortions in. Also note, this comment is referencing his first abortion. One I did when I was about 3 months before turning 15. But that really is not my interest. It's the hyperbole, god-awful rhetoric being spouted by these insane lunatics that bothers me. So with that said, a little backstory for context and understanding my interest. Flashback to the early 80s and the mentality that originally sucked me in. Jack Chick and his Chick Tracks, James Dallas Egbert III Mess, William Deere, who wrote about Egbert, Rona Jaffe, she wrote Mazes' Monsters, also based on Egbert. We have Patricia Pulling, She's a mother of another D&D victim. She went on to found Bothered About Dungeons and Dragons. She also wrote The Devil's Web, Who is Stalking Your Children for Satan. During that time period, she became president of the National Coalition on TV Violence. Then there's fellow National Coalition on TV Violence psychiatrist Thomas Radecki. We have former Satanic High Priest John Todd. We have former Satanic High Priest Mike Warnke, author of The Satan Seller. And, by the way, he's trying to make a comeback. And last but not least, our favorite, Tipper Gore. She formed the Parents Media Resource Center. That's the group responsible for the parental advisory stickers found on music because of music. Not to be outdone, we also have the other panic, satanic ritual abuse. Three people I'm familiar with. We have psychiatrist Lawrence Pastor and his patient and then-to-be wife, Michelle Smith. They co-wrote a book called Michelle Remembers, a supposed account of Michelle's childhood victimization. Lawrence Stratford, a.k.a. Laurel Rose Wilson, she wrote Satan's Underground, the extraordinary story of one woman's escape. She claimed to be a breeder for satanic groups, birthing babies to be sacrificed and eaten. And here I thought we had a monopoly on that. And then last, Doris Sanford and Gracie Evans, also authors. They wrote Don't Make Me Go Back, Mommy, a child's book about satanic ritual abuse. And if you're interested, I will have in the show notes links to pretty much everything mentioned. So why is this a problem? It's this sort of Christianist masturbation fantasy that still exists. Its promulgators think that the rubes will actually believe it. And as Deb and I found, the religious fucktards soak this shit right up. And I'm not just talking the Christo fascists either. Now, imagine being 19 years old, away from home in a heavily fundamentalist atmosphere. Imagine having a mental illness, but not knowing you have a mental illness. Imagine having psychotic episodes, delusions of grandeur, uncontrollable mood swings, all fueled by an addiction to Tylenol 3s, which eventually led to OxyContin. Imagine being a cutter, but not knowing why. Now add to that a culture where mental illness is perceived as a spiritual issue that can be solved by prayer and Bible study. Sound familiar? That it's Satan and his minion demons and those he controls that are the cause of all your woes. Then add to that a jackass named Bob Larson. Yes, the current master of Skype exorcisms and the brains behind Team Exorcists. I think without much help you can see where this is going to lead, because it's still happening today. Yes, I'm an exorcism survivor. Now, there's a lot of small detail in discussing Larson, which I'm going to avoid. Suffice to say, Larson actually performs, in modern parlance, what's called deliverances, not the rite of exorcism. No, he was not present, but his early teachings, along with the hype mentioned above, were influential. Yes, I have met Larson, and I have heard him speak. I was also an avid fan of his 2-hour weekday call-in show, Talk Back. I don't think I ever called in, or at least I don't remember doing so. And I have read many of his books, and so on. I say I'm a survivor because it didn't kill me, but the aftermath nearly did. I say survivor because today many individuals subjected to this type of crazy talk don't, and that fucks me off. Over the course of the past 5 years, I have posted numerous stories concerning this demon's deliverance and exorcism fad, and the false narratives behind it. People say that religion doesn't result in harm, but I beg to differ. Christianity is dying a slow death, and the Christianists don't like it. They don't like the idea of their way of life, their dominance of the way things ought to be, their beliefs becoming extinct. Towards the end of the article, Zachary King said Satanism, in the same way abortion and homosexual rights activists have mainstreamed their ideas, is unveiling its true agenda in increments. It's becoming more popular because, remember, Satan has removed himself from the picture in many respects, trying to prove he doesn't exist. So many people think of Satan as the character the church invented to keep people in line, and then you look at everything else that's ramped up. It's the same way with abortion and Satanism. Everything satanic is coming out into the open. They're not denying it anymore. They're not hiding it in the basements and out in the woods anymore. It's just out in the open like everything else. And that, my friends, is the crux of the whole matter. The political agenda aside, they do not want their beliefs challenged. They do not want people to think for themselves. They just want happy little sheep. Oh, the money's not too bad either. And now that I have completely depressed you, or better yet, fucked you off, let's get back to the show and our guest from Waiting for Wrath.
Oh, very nice. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Holy cow.
Yeah. That article was posted by WorldNet Daily, and Beth and I went on first onto their comments. I'd never gone on there before, and I signed up, and they have rules, and I was trying really hard, and I actually checked, and I did not, as far as I could tell, violate any of the rules. I didn't even say fuck or anything. It took 7 hours for them to ban me and delete all of my comments.
Yeah, see, the trick is that you disagreed with them, and echo chambers don't like that.
Well,
I did the same thing.
She did, but I don't know. The only difference I could think of was that one guy in particular was really annoyed that I could come back and refute everything like he came out with the, well, Charles Manson, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh, I've studied Manson, da 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 da. Oh, Joseph Mengele, blah blah blah. Oh, I've studied Manson too, blah blah blah. You know,
I was a Nazi. Like,
Yeah, really, right?
Oh, and they like, well, how do you know? Because I made the point, Satanists don't have covens. Well, how do you know? Well, because I dabbled in witchcraft, and I've, I've read the stuff.
Yeah,
I've
that's why they banned you.
Because I know how to internet better than you.
Right.
Yeah.
So the real problem is
We
that
don't
you
like
were
a
just
woman who
lady
can
splaining
read.
all that stuff, and we
Yeah.
can't be having that.
I know.
Well, what's funny is the author came on, and I had commented. Well, I was really pissed off because I have a history with this bullshit, and I've been tracking this crap since 1984ish.
God, when it was big.
Yeah, I mean, I lived through it. I remember when the Satanic Panic started in '77 when Dungeons and Dragons first came out. I grew up with that mentality. I mean, I'm as close to a PK as one can be without being a PK. You know?
I'm extremely close to being a PK.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. My parents weren't ministers, but they were president and vice president and treasurer of the church. The church I grew up in, my mom had been going there since she was a child.
Bloody
Okay,
hell.
she was born in 1921.
That was before I was born.
Hey, we learned
Yeah.
this week that was right after they got the right to vote.
That is true.
Yes.
Yep.
We learned
And
we learned a thing.
Yeah, my grandmother and my grandfather. I never met my grandfather. He died the year before I was born, but they were straight off the boat from Germany. So she grew up in a very strict German household, and we were Missouri Synod Lutheran. The strictest Lutheran. So I mean, I grew up with the whole 9 yards, and I actually went to college to be a Bible and theology major. I wanted to be a youth minister. But yeah, so I mean, this was like going on. I mean, my record collection that I started collecting on the sly about halfway through my senior year, I couldn't listen to regular music. It was all John Denver, Joni Mitchell, mostly classical. I mean, I'm a classically trained musician. I suck. But I didn't even hear my first rock album, I think, until Pyromania came out by Def Leppard.
Wow.
That was
Good album.
Yeah, I still have it somewhere. But, so, my record collection is at the bottom of a pond, thanks to Bob Larson.
Who's Bob Larson?
He...
That's the exorcism guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yes, gotcha. I'm
Yeah.
shit with names. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's okay.
but,
Hero of the Far Side.
yeah, I mean,
Hell of a comeback career, that one.
you know, and when I started blogging in 2001, I kind of picked at it, and, you know, but my blog started to, you know, kind of change, and then I really started to go at it about 5 years ago. And I started posting all these stories. And last year, from the 1st of January through, I believe it was May 14th, I posted at least one exorcism or demon-related story a day.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's crazy.
That
It's fucking
is
crazy.
fucking bullshit. Now you got this Zachary King, who's basically, as I said, he's a Catholic version of Mike Warnke. And Mike Warnke was a supposed, you know, high priest in the Satanic movement. He's been thoroughly debunked, and he's actually admitted that he was a fraud. But so now you got it coming out from the Catholic perspective, and if you know, throw out the politics for the moment with the whole, you know, Hobby Lobby and all that stuff, they're bringing it right back again. I mean, instead of the SRA and the false memory syndrome, it's now the facilitated communications. You're seeing it especially with autistic children. There's actually 3 cases just in the last year and a half where autistic children, through facilitated communication, which is just as bunk as any of the other therapies,
That
are
is
accusing...
It really
Yeah,
is.
they're accusing their family of sexual abuse. It took 3 years for one guy, and I'll go into I'm going to do another segment on it. I mean, the San Antonio Fort just got out of prison in the last 18 months.
You guys touched on this on an earlier show, right? The nonverbal
Yeah.
kids being
Yeah.
able to, yeah,
We did.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's one of
It's horrifying.
2 or 3 weeks
Yeah.
ago, I think.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm kind of a OCD about certain subjects. It happens to be one of them. Anything dealing with this whole satanic panic bullshit, because they're bringing it back, and they're bringing it back hard.
They're trying.
Fortunately, it's not the 80s. They're not going to be able to bring it back like they did then because people have the internet now. In the 80s,
But it was so scary too, is because like there was a paper published 6 months ago or so, and it was actually from a Islamic point of view dealing with the jinn, and saying that the jinn are causing psychiatric illness, and that's what I went through. I didn't know back in '83 that I was bipolar. I didn't find out until '93, '94-ish. So I mean, what they saw as, you know, my psychotic episodes, oh, it's demons.
now easily controlled with medication.
That's J.I.
Yes.
19. Or J.
And this Bob Larson guy, I heard about him on a documentary show and like something I picked up on Hulu. And I don't know if he's doing it now because the show I saw was a couple of years old, but he was having his teenage daughter and her friends be this virginal exorcism squad.
They're
And they
still
would-
doing it, but in Europe.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's like
Guess
okay,
where?
so-
Romania.
Oh, lovely.
Bringing it back around.
They're Orthodox over there, though. That's weird.
Orthodox.
And he's not even an ordained minister. He's a mail order minister.
Yeah, I have the same fucking credentials that he does.
Why?
Ordained just means I thought about it really hard and God said it was okay.
I'm ordained
Yeah.
in 3 churches.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
just putting
got
that out there.
I've got Universal Life Church, and I'm now a pastor in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So I have that.
$5 will make you a pastor in the Church of Light. Their requirements are believing in something. And
I
$5.
got you beat though. I'm actually a saint. A friend of mine years ago, he started the Eurasian Orthodox Church, and he made me the patron saint of things I wish my girlfriend would do.
Nice.
I even have a certificate for the wall and everything. So I was I think the fourth saint in the Eurasian Orthodox Church.
So there's nothing you won't do, is what you're saying.
He said that. I don't know.
And conversation dead.
Listen to me to kill a conversation.
I've never actually met him. He lives in Green Bay, and yeah, we used to talk a lot when I used to belong to a Yahoo group that was run by a bunch of nut jobs, and actually that's one of the reasons why I went and sparred with the World Net Daily people, because the guy who used to run this Yahoo group was a big fan of World Net Daily, and I hadn't seen any of their bullshit in a number of years, and I was kind of feeling nostalgic, and I thought, oh, I'll go on World Net Daily, it'll be like the old times in the Yahoo group, and it kind of was.
Yahoo of which you speak.
That was the thing that
know.
existed before Google, in the dark times.
Yeah. In the dark times before there was Facebook.
But
Right.
Beth, no, seriously, that was a really interesting video that you had. I grew up in like deep swampy South Georgia, which was very, very superstitious, and
Yes.
I was a kid in the '80s. So, were you familiar with Chick Tracts?
Oh
Those
yeah.
little-
Yeah.
My dad worked at a
I-
prison.
Those like little
My-
gums, right?
No, they're like little pamphlets, and they tell little stories.
Oh.
I'll show you guys one day.
They're like
But my-
little comic books. Kind
Well,
of.
what's funny about the Chick Tracts, the one I mentioned in the show, on his website, they're actually selling that specific Chick Tract for $750.
What?
What are these, like baseball
it.
cards?
Dad was friends with a chaplain. He worked at the prison. He was a correctional officer, and he would bring home literal bags of Chick Tracts, and I would just sit on the floor in my room and read them. And they were all like witch panic and like Halloween's gonna take your
Yes.
soul.
They're just
and-
like-
What was
they're
that
like-
happy fun
Yeah.
time?
They're like
Yeah,
shitty
they're-
comic books.
They're like comic books, and they're written specifically for teenagers between the ages of 11 and 17, because that's when Satan gets their soul.
Why were they called
Yep.
Chick
That's his
Tracts?
last name.
Were they for
His
girls?
name was
Last
Jack
name.
Chick.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
are they only for girls? Because
No.
the Satan's gonna crawl up inside
No,
them?
see, we don't have to worry about the Satan, because it's all the temptresses that aren't making sandwiches.
Like Jen.
Yeah. See?
Oh.
Jen with a D.
Yeah. see.
DJIN.
Jen frequently brings us tacos, so.
Yeah.
It's true, but not
See.
sandwiches.
But anyway, that some of the stuff that you touched on was just very like reminiscent of some crazy bullshit of
Yeah.
deep South
And,
Georgia.
and
My mom
what's
bought me
really
Legos.
I mean, what's sad about it is, like, you have the recent... Well, I just posted one, not yesterday, the day before, of a girl in Argentina whose family was convinced by a preacher man to do an exorcism, and then the sister, as the family held her down and sat on her, gouged out her eyes.
Jesus
Saw that
Christ.
headline pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, the Maryland case, that I don't even think it's gone to trial yet. I think they're still prelim. I mean, where she killed her and her roommate, partner, I'm not sure what the relationship was off the top of my head, killed 2 of her kids. Because they thought they were toddlers. I think one was 3 and one was 5. Because, they're possessed by demons. Now, I will make this one caveat. 99% of the time, these people do already have a mental illness.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, but I mean, and this is something I'm still working through, because my belief for a long time was that religious belief causes a mental illness, or religious belief is a mental illness, and that's kind of
symptom.
But what it's coming down to with the more reading I do, or knowledge gathering, as I call it, because I'm not researching, I'm not sitting in a lab, is that they're finding is that with people, if religious ideology is introduced pre-symptoms, like most of the time your symptoms for your axis 1 disorders like schizophrenia, bipolar, don't start until you hit about 13. So if you already have that religious indoctrination, when you finally do have a psychotic break, so to speak, your ideology is going to focus on the religious idea. Their actions are going to mimic that religious ideology.
Your delusions have a reason.
Yeah, but if you don't have a religious-based ideology, you're most likely not going to do something that extreme because you won't have that focus. And that's what they're starting, a lot of research now is focusing on that, because seriously, how many atheists do you know kill their child because they're possessed by demons? How many atheists do you know that are possessed by demons?
None.
And what they're doing, and it was funny because I think you were already banned, Deb. Do you know what else they brought up in their comments?
Oh no.
I will give you one fucking guess. What is my all-time favorite topic?
Oh, LGBT.
No, besides that, that's obvious. Starts with an N, ends in an E. Nephilim.
Nephilim! Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. The Nephilim?
They brought up the Nephilim. That's another one of my... And what it is...
The angel crossbreeds?
Yeah, the angel
and if you dig into the ideology, it's based on the serpent seed doctrine. Cain was from Satan, Abel wasn't. But the whole gist of it is us versus them. So now what they're doing is they're morphing this renewed satanic panic into the Nephilim ideology, and they were, think about it. Yeah. I'm like, oh, no, I didn't even read the comments because I was like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole again.
You guys gotta hear this one. So all I did was I commented on the story, and my points were like, number one, he's using the wrong terminology for someone who actually knows anything about the occult, because, Satanists don't have covens. And it would be ludicrous for any medical practitioner to allow a non-medical personnel into an operating theater for any reason, and him saying, oh, he had his hands in the blood and all, like, bullshit. That would never happen. So even if they were trying to be secretive, somebody could sue them for biohazard contamination. Like, no, that's not going to happen. So that was the gist of my post, and now you guys have seen my Facebook avatar, right? The burqa tip.
Yeah, kind of a.
I saw.
Girl, something.
Yeah, I signed in with my Facebook, so it pulled my Facebook avatar, and that's my avatar. So it said, this woman comes back with, "You're making it very clear by your reverent refusal to claim any truth to this story," in all caps, that this practice is happening, and by trying to say all the testimony by all the people in this post is, as you said, not just subjective stories that could be figments of imagination and even mental illness, proves you would do anything to rebuke the statements, shows you are the lunatic, and not only believes that kind of lunacy, but practices it. I gave up my first unborn, so she's had an abortion, in San Diego, and I know without a doubt this is happening just the way it is explained. I know all about the spirit world, and you, my dear, are a bold-faced liar, most likely to, TWO, have been through the sacrament of abortion many times. All caps, your picture says it all. You look ready for ritual sacrifice.
Oh my
The
god.
sacrament of abortion?
At what point were you just like, okay, I'm gonna be a fundy now? Fuck punctuation. Like,
Fuck intelligent discourse.
They're like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, you can't be a fundamentalist. You grammar too well.
I think she wandered into a hell house after like smoking some weed or something. It was like,
I think it's the or something, Jen.
well,
No, she
and
wandered
then
into
so.
a movie.
Well, and so she's basically saying, I had an abortion and I know that's what happens. So my response was, like I said some other stuff, and I said, so did they put on fancy robes, burn incense, and do some chanting when you had your abortion? What did they chant, and what did the robes look like? If you can describe something that actually exists, I might believe you. And now I didn't manage to capture, because I had to go back and screen cap everything because they banned me, and I missed like 3 of her posts. But the gist of it was, oh, well, they put me under and I was actually unconscious, but I know that's what happened.
she knows that Rosemary's Baby is not a documentary, right?
Probably not, because
What?
the one book I cite, the one by Rona Jafe, Monsters and Mazes, that book actually became the basis of, if I remember correctly,
Monsters and Mazes, the movie with what's his face?
yes,
It
Tom
was
Hanks.
awesome.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah,
and,
Tom Hanks.
And Wilson.
Yeah.
I saw the movie. It was awful. My
It
parents,
actually, it
My
was
parents actually
congressional
bought it.
testimony.
oh my god, my parents bought the movie for me because I was into D&D, and they were like, "This has Monsters and Mazes, and he'll love it." They didn't get it for me to repent. They're like, "This will be a fun film to watch because you like D&D," and then we watched it as a family, and my mom was like, "I'm really sorry." Not.
That was not what we were going
She was
for.
like, "I thought there'd be more like elves and dwarves and less psychotic breakdowns."
I didn't read the Bloxburg trailer.
I think it was one of those like $2 bins.
Oh,
buys,
right.
you
Well,
know?
it had to be, yeah.
It's like, Tom Hanks, this is gonna be awesome, even though it was made in 19.
Yeah, it turns out he had car payments too.
Yes, way back then.
So I'm pretty sure the only thing I can think of that got me banned was the other person that I had been talking with. Of course, he's the guy who's like blah blah blah. He's like, he's trying to illustrate that anyone who's, I guess, occult-ish could do evil things, and he said, "Can you tell me that Charles Manson wouldn't go and abort a baby for Satan?" And I'm like, well, I've studied Charles Manson, and based on his psychology, I could say that actually no, he wouldn't, because he was a manipulator and he never did anything actually himself. And they came back, "You didn't understand what I said, and you're just making stuff up, and that's not what I meant." And I'm like, you asked me if he would do it, and I told you no, and why. He's like, well, you didn't get the point, and you're stupid. Okay.
Yeah, you're stupid.
And then my point about not having anyone who's non-medical personnel in the room and being in like non-sterile Satanist robes and whatever, and they came back with Joseph Mengele, and I'm like, okay,
I 2 degrees from Nazi in one of these
Well,
conversations.
as bad as he was, I'm pretty sure he had his PhD.
Yeah, he was.
Mengele?
He was a medical
So
doctor.
does Crazy McFuck that's running for president right now.
Well,
And
therefore
that
you're
was my
allowed
point.
in a you're allowed
was
in
my-
a surgery.
That was my point, was that I've studied Mengele. Mengele was a medical doctor, and he would have followed sterile procedure even if he was a sick fuck, because if he didn't follow sterile procedure, his experiments would have been useless, and maybe he didn't care, but the Nazis would care because they were all about, efficiency and getting shit done that was meaningful.
Good German.
Mengele was
efficiency.
also really worried about catching the Jew.
Yeah,
Yes.
you don't want to accidentally catch
Yes.
him, bro.
And he came back with, you didn't understand my point, and that wasn't what I was trying to say, and you missed it, and you're stupid. I'm like, okay. So eventually he was like, oh, you're too stupid to understand me. And I was like, okay, well, enjoy slavery with your imaginary friend and have a nice life. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing...
Very
I'm
good.
guessing
Wow.
that's why I got banned, was because I told him he had an imaginary friend. I don't know, but
Well,
Odds are
well,
good,
the author of the article, Leo Holman, responded to one of your posts just
That's right.
before you got banned, and he's like, "I've vetted this story. It's true. I know it's true." Well, the problem is if you compare his story to Mike Warnke's story to Seidman's story to Michelle Smith's story to Robert Schnoblin, who is somebody I didn't mention, and if my friend Rob Robinson is listening, he'll know what I'm referring to. He was an early ex-Satanist, ex-Wiccan, god-awful. He was like supposedly into anything, and he was like high priest type person in like 9 different occult things at one time. Another, his story's been ripped. If you compare all the stories going back to like 77, they're all the same. Actually, Michelle Smith's story goes back to the 50s. I mean, their stories are all the same, and they're all bunk. And you got idiots like the one woman she was arguing with. Even her story, they're pulling out things that the status quo with the fucktards. And the thing that's even funny, like even King's story, just in that short article, didn't even make sense. 1 minute he's in an operating room, 1 minute he's in a farmhouse, 1 minute he's killing babies, but I didn't actually kill any babies or children or however. It's like their stories just never add up. When you would take, and the thing is, they're using this to demonize, the Planned Parenthood specifically, but they're using it to also demonize women. If you look,
that's par for the course. Like we don't have to have our stories match up, but those women, wow.
Yeah. If anybody who's even set foot in a Planned Parenthood is satanic and evil bitch, and And it makes me laugh because it's like, okay, abortion is like one of many, many things that they provide. And that was one of my points I made to one of these idiots was like, oh, so because you think that something you don't like might be going on, we're going to take away things like, screening for cancer and pap smears and affordable birth control and screening for STDs and all this other stuff.
Doesn't matter because that's women's shit.
I know. It's like
abortion is 13% of what they do, isn't it?
It's
3%. Yes, it's 3% of what
Jen,
they do.
we will chant around you.
And there is no and there is no government funding for abortion resources. That's been illegal for decades.
Long time.
So calm the fuck down.
Where you live, I love freaking them out by like, oh well, where I live, the government pays for that. Everybody gets it for free and whenever they want it, and we haven't blown up yet, so fuck you.
No, we've been having marriage for like 15 years.
Yeah, no, but they really frown upon abortion when they're at like year 3.
It turns out 40th trimester abortions are not cool.
They don't like
That's
just
not all right.
killing a teenager.
No.
Why can't we abort Pat
You
Robertson?
can't just beat kids to death.
Yeah, I wish we could abort.
What's so asinine, if you think about it, they're against abortion, but yet a family of, I think it was 4 boys, and the mother and father physically assaulted their own daughter, and people are like, well, they're fine, they're Christians, and they've repented. Okay, Josh Duggar, another example.
Don't get me started on the diddler.
One bigwig pastor just came out today and said he had an Ashley Madison. He got suspended, but I mean, in the ministers, I post at least 5 stories a day minimum on people within the ministry, whether they are actual pastors or associated with the church in some way, and I'm using church as a broad term, are diddling children.
Do you use diddling as a broad term or like a narrow term?
Children is a broad term.
Sorry. Don't know where that came
from. The
IPA.
That's the reason Jen's on the show, because she keeps us down to earth with the funny.
There's regular diddling, and then there's diddling for Jesus, right?
Yes.
If you're not
I was self-censoring. But,
shit.
yeah.
Well, we're kind of at the end of the two, or we're a little bit over, but that's okay because we weren't here last week. But first of all, we had an awesome time. You guys are fucking hilarious. So thanks for joining us. And
the beer.
We try. Sometimes
Yes.
the magic works.
It's all about the
and the
beer.
wine,
Yes.
Don't forget the wine, the grapes.
Is it blood red, that wine?
It's pink. Does that work? It's
The
Yeah, but-
goblet. The
There
goblet
we go.
makes it very red.
It is
though.
in one hell of a chalice.
Yes.
That is
It is.
all the jealous. The
It's
chalice.
from Avon, actually, believe it or not.
Oh, excellent.
There we go.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Oh, you're very welcome. So please tell us where everyone can find you guys.
I'll let Aaron.
regularly.
Absolutely. We are Waiting for Wrath, the beer guzzling atheist podcast you didn't know you were waiting for. And you can find us at waitingforwrath.com. You can find us on facebook.com/waitingforwrath. That's the number 4 on the Facebook URL, or at the numeral 4 Wrath on Twitter. And, you can always check us out on the web, on iTunes, on Stitcher, wherever great podcasts are letting us slip in under the radar.
Wait, we have an online presence? I thought we just sat here and talked to each other because it was fun.
That's just what we tell you.
Oh.
Yeah.
We do that too.
That's why you talk a lot.
Yeah. That's why you don't actually make it to the final
Shay's
version.
gotten drunk, shockingly. So.
I'm going to take off my clothes here pretty soon.
God. That's
Time
a
for us to
whole
go.
different
What
viewership.
shapes hairy nipples are out?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for Shay, we have about 10 times the audio listeners than we do video watchers. So
Oh.
they
That's
can use their imagination. They can picture
Oh.
you look like, I don't
I've
know.
My
a
nipples
crucified-
look like Cthulhu.
I've seen Shay with her shirt on. He's so fucking white, he might actually deafen your listeners.
Shay is Chris Hemsworth. He's Chris Hemsworth with a full beard.
Yeah.
Not just
All
a
right.
light beard.
I'm not sure if you can get much whiter than me, but he makes a good effort for sure.
He's actually bioluminescent if
I'll-
you turn the lights
I'll
off.
tweet you a picture of my ass later.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Well, thank you for having us on.
You really
We
wanna look
appreciate
forward
it.
Waiting
Yeah.
for Wrath's last guest appearance on any show ever.
Our last video guest appearance.
Well,
Made it in 2 countries. So,
what's the other one?
America and Canada.
Oh, okay.
Well, the whole world will see this.
Yeah, see, there
Well, I was
we
just
go.
thinking of these poor people we've been face to face.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's okay. It's okay. And just to say hello to Sean, who's one of my Facebook friends, and
Sean.
and Tech was saying that he really hates it when the religious nuts hand out tracts that look like money for waiters.
It's the
Yeah,
worst.
that's a super douche.
Yeah.
When you're a
Especially when
server.
it happens instead of a tip.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
inexcusable.
Yes.
You know what I do to those? I
Yes.
give them a tip just for a second, no matter how they feel.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a rape joke.
Okay,
Oh,
shut up.
came in on a high note.
Oh.
All right, folks. I am gonna go ahead and play our. Oh, for fuck's sakes! It's not letting me screen share again. God damn it! I hate
You'll
Google
just have
some
to sing
days.
it.
I
can
really
make up a
do.
theme song.
Can you?
Let me
Well,
make up
I
your
can-
theme song.
I can play it, but you're just gonna have to.
I can
Look
sing
at
the 18
you
thing.
guys.
Beyond the trailer
so-
park.
Well, our good friend Dave Foda actually wrote our outro, which is the only creed for humanists. So since it won't let me fucking screen share, I will just
vote
play
through
it. There you go.
You
All
have to
right.
play it yourself. Quote it.
We're all voguing.
Faith is not a virtue. It's cookie cutter, hypno Babylon.
That's the wrong one.
Damn
Expanding my intellectual boundaries, and I will educate myself. I know the truth and power of vanquishing ignorance, and I will do so whenever the opportunity presents itself. I know the truth and power of morality without supervision, and of true and accurate righteousness. I know the truth and power of obliterating tyranny, be it intellectual, emotional, or philosophical, and will work toward that goal whenever and however possible. I know the truth and power of human ingenuity. I know the truth and power of human compassion, and I will be mindful of the welfare of others. I know the truth and power of equality and fairness for all living things. I know the truth and power of the importance of our families, our friends, and our fellow men and women. I know the truth and power of human stewardship of our lands, our waters, and our skies, and I will try to act to preserve our environment. I know the truth and power of the sciences of mathematics, of physics, and of chemistry, and of the important role of these disciplines in understanding the workings of this cosmos. I know the truth and power of the rejection of all notions or beliefs that reside in the supernatural or the superstitious, and of those notions or beliefs that we are not supposed to be able to explain. And I know that these rejections are necessary for humankind's survival. I am a human being with a free mind, liberated from irrational influence and from unreasonable dogma.